What is going on? Welcome back to Financial Journey. So today I want to talk to you about SoFi. There's been a lot of good news about SoFi recently, just unfortunately the broader market just wants to go down. I want to go over some updated information and why I decided to buy and add to my position today. I'm going to go over all of that, but make sure you do hit that thumbs up and subscribe, and doing that is always greatly appreciated. With that though, let's get right to it. Live tickers at the very bottom, so 3.38% down, 22.3 million for volume. So today is a little bit more lower as far as volume is going. 3.9 million shares being purchased by institutions. So, and that's more so on the secondary market. I always give you an update on this, which I always find very relevant. So institutions purchasing on the secondary market is somewhat low, but when it comes down to the dark pool transaction, there is a ton of them. So definitely take that how you see that. Keep in mind though, I'm not a financial advisor. I just like to list the facts. You guys take from it what you find relevant. And in my particular case, I like following what big money does all the time, kind of behind the scenes. So behind the scenes, SoFi is a screaming buying opportunity. Unfortunately, based on the options activity recently, it is a little bit more bearish, but at the end of the day, I know SoFi is going to do a lot of good things. This is why I decided to buy, because even if you take a step back, based on the Q2 earnings, after all the information has come out, we're actually below as far as price point when the Q2 earnings came out. It's mind-boggling if you ask me, and there's a lot of good things that did come from that Q2 earnings. Shows that it's very resilient to a possible recession. Obviously, a recession would hurt a lot of individuals, but at the end of the day, having the highest FICO scores that we do, and overall having the quality customers and as much money as they make, I feel that personally the risk when it comes down to SoFi is substantially reduced. And if you do couple that with what Powell recently said, how they ideally want to have just below 4% for a target interest rate up until all the way to 2023, that definitely does show SoFi is going to be making a lot of money. So once again, take that how you see that. But one thing I just wanted to show you is the sentiment. I'm a very big believer in the overall sentiment. It has to be fairly positive for it to go up. So looking recently, oddly enough, despite all the fear out in the market, we're only briefly negative, whereas a lot of other growth stocks are massively down here. So once again, it's one of those things that it's just a small finite point. But if you do couple all of this together, it does go to show that SoFi has a very strong base, and in reality, it shows that there's a substantial discount. And once again, if you do couple all of that, what I've been saying with the recent clarification on the student debt, we are going to be seeing a lot more revenue for SoFi going forward. So just looking as far as the forecasts based on the financials, you are going to see a huge increase in the earnings per share over the coming quarters, starting in as far as 2023. Again, this is where it's already adjusted. A lot more analysts have jumped on board, increasing their actual assumptions and estimates on that. So once again, it's one of those small finite details that goes to show that it is a huge deal. And when it comes to it though, I did do a couple of videos where I did refer to about the student debt. Some people did ask me, how much is that going to increase for 2023 and onward? Well, I've always said hypothetically between 35 to 50 million is what SoFi was missing out on potential revenue by the student debt being extended. So the fact that that's not in play, give or take around 140 to 200 million extra revenue, which is going to benefit the bottom line, going to benefit investors, benefit SoFi, it's going to benefit everyone. So I think if you once again take a step back, realize that this is just short-term noise, a little bit more fluctuation, a little bit more pain in the short term. Again, it's going to be a lot of big things coming in the future. So that's how I see things in general. I also like to give a little bit more of a disclaimer because I've always said I've been investing since 2009, so I've seen my fair share of downtrends potentially. Nothing in relation to this, because especially 2020, 2021, 2022, as far as a investor standpoint, we've been getting hit with so many different things. It's absolutely crazy. It's very decentivizing to actually be an investor given the circumstances lately. So it does suck overall, but in the grand scheme of things, it's going to be very beneficial. And like I said, I've been investing for some time now. My own little bit more of a recommendation to any investors who are listening to this is try not to play on margin, because this fluctuation on growth stocks such as SoFi, and if you are on margin, it can definitely hurt you very fast just based on just overreactions. So that's my own 2 cents. Let me know your thoughts on that in the comments below. But once again, I have lost a lot of money in the past when I have been playing with margin unnecessarily. So that's how I see things. But I'm just going to quickly go back here, go over some updated information. So when it comes down to it though, I've been seeing a nice little push from SoFi from a marketing standpoint on Twitter. So they're definitely trying to prioritize the all-in-one component. So the fact that they're actually trying to say you can help your parents or vice versa, this, you can help with your kids. I think it's encumbering and taking advantage of the good amount of quality customers and using that quality status to bring in kind of relatable family members. So I think that's also a very big deal, good marketing aspect from SoFi. Outside of that though, number of downloads coming from SoFi both on iOS and Android are continuously increasing, which is a very, very good thing. So I see that as the customer base will continue to increase because like I've always said, based on Q2 earnings, we've had phenomenal stats that did come out, more so from the customer increasing standpoint and also products. So I think that that most likely will carry forward into Q3. But when it comes down to it though, the technicals, I'm going to give you a quick breakdown on this because I'm a very big fan of the technicals. So on the actual chart, we are at 4 for stochastic. That is mind-blowing. That is extremely suppression. That is oversold status to the extreme. And also looking at RSI though is at 37, which in reality is fairly low. Momentum is at -2. So anything below 0, we are hypothetically losing buyers, but this is a good indication of what retail investors are doing. Clearly, a lot of retail investors are very feared about the broader market. They are selling, and as I have always said, institutions are just gladly waiting there to buy all of your available shares. So once again, take that how you see that. Obviously, this is only for entertainment purposes, so I'm not saying to sell, to buy. You guys do what you feel is right. But on the actual chart, we're still technically in no man's land as of right now. And if you do couple that with the Fibonacci points, so I've always said $6.75 is a very strong pivot point, currently trading between the S1 and S2, which again, if you do compare that with other growth stocks, we're not doing too bad in the grand scheme of things, because a lot of growth stocks right now, for instance, even Lucid, which I do cover quite a lot, is between the S3 and S2. So the fact that we're technically on that S1 point is a very big deal. But hypothetically, it does show you potentially where it could go, which is around the $5.01, which a lot of shorts definitely do want us to go there. So a little bit more of an abnormal thing. Shorts have been really trying to suppress SoFi lately, but let me know your thoughts on all of this in the comments below. If you haven't already, hit that thumbs up and subscribe is always greatly appreciated. Also, let me know in the comments below if you've been buying. Like I said at the very beginning, I did add to my position, so I took advantage of these prices. Once again, it might not necessarily be the bottom, but I know grand scheme of things and bigger picture, these are bargain prices. So let me know your thoughts on that. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up, subscribe, and all that fun jazz. And with that said, let's all make a lot of money on SoFi.